A lot of star power on both sides of the fair for the Bourne Braves and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. But I want to focus on two unsung heroes at the end of each bench. That's going to be the manager Scott Landers for the Braves and Mitch Carriker for the Harbor Hawks. Guys, if we flash back 2 years to 2022, Landers was in his first season as the Braves manager, took 23 wins in the regular season in a 44-game season, all the way through the postseason to be named Cape Cod Baseball League champions in 2022. Come back to today, Mitch Carriker is looking to do the exact same thing with his Harbor Hawk squad. 24 wins in the 40-game season helped him earn the 1 seed as we head into this West Division playoff set. And now he's got to go through the back-to-back Cape Cod Baseball League champions and the Bourne Braves to follow Landers' legacy in winning the chip as a first-year manager. Will be no easy task. Have to come from behind here. It's a very solid Bourne squad, but if anyone can do it, it's Carriker and this Harbor Hawks team. We'll have to see what we do in the second half of this game to hopefully go on a championship run of our own. Back to you, Jacob.
And he swings and drives one to the same spot as his teammate, right center field. Once again, Chase Avery, that is out of here. 3-1 lead for this Hyannis Harbor Hawks team. My goodness, these volunteers just like to heat up around playoff time.
Coach, lastly, Mason White on offense. Power hitter at Arizona, had 19 homers this past season. Gets his first of the summer tonight. Per TrackMan, 430 feet. What have you seen from him in training that allows him to make such sweet contact, hit balls that far?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Right now I'm joined by a very special guest, one of our analytics interns, Gabe Applebaum. Gabe, how you feeling about making your broadcast debut?
I'm pretty excited. I've always been told I have more of a face for radio than television, but I'm excited nonetheless.
Don't worry, they say the same thing. Charlie tries to find ways to get the camera away from me. But Gabe, talk to me a little bit about some of the work you've done analytically to help this team this summer.
Sure. So one big thing we've done is we've started measuring our hitters and opposing hitters using WOBA instead of a more traditional stat like batting average or slugging percentage. And what WOBA is it's very similar to slugging, where you take your amount of singles multiply by 1, amount of doubles multiply by 2, and so on to find the value of the hitter. So instead in WOBA, we use the average amount of runs generated by a single to value the singles, and we create a stat that shows overall how many runs a hitter is expected to add per plate appearance. And then we rescale that to on-base percentage. So like the average WOBA, league average WOBA and league average on-base percentage will be the same, so it's a little more digestible. And that way we're using a little more of an advanced and more mathematically sound way to measure hitters.
So you mentioned that for the offensive perspective. Obviously, we can do the same thing on the mound. Talk to me about a few Harbor Hawks pitchers who have been very successful with that stat.
Yeah, so on top of having WOBA, we also have expected WOBA, which uses our TrackMan data and takes the launch angle and the exit velocity of every ball in play to kind of predict what the outcome will be. And that way we're able to go one step beyond the outcomes and use how hard the ball is being hit and how often it's being put in like a line drive or like a hard fly ball kind of plane off of the bat. And that way we're able to value our pitchers by whether or not they're giving up solid contact that could lead to hits. And so Josh Och from Southern Miss is actually the league leader right now in expected WOBA allowed. His is 132, which is really elite. That's like 90th percentile. It makes him pretty much the best pitcher in preventing runs on Cape so far.
Gabe, earlier you talked about TrackMan data. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you guys can use TrackMan to help this team and help these individual players get better?
Yeah, so one way that we do that is we'll take a look using the TrackMan data, me and Austin, our pitching development intern, and we'll see like how their arsenal plays up, what it looks like right now, and we brainstorm and say how could it look better, and we're able to put the pitch plots together of their arsenals and really help our pitchers get better by giving them new pitches.
Gabe, thank you so much for joining and explaining advanced analytics to a not-so-smart guy like myself. Hopefully we can hear from you a little bit more later. Back to you guys. Thanks, Josh. Just saw some stellar defense there for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. But I want to talk about a weapon of choice on the offensive end as our bench coach Rich is throwing a football at me. Blake Cavill, guys, not in the lineup today, but during batting practice, sporting a new bat. A bat from his time with the Aussie Drop Bears just about a week ago. Green bat doesn't really match the uniforms, but I can tell you, It felt good in his hands. And BP took a pull side homer right center field, guys. Hopefully we can see it in game action because that bat looks really good in Blake's hands. Back to you guys. Thanks, Nico. Guys, for Intern Appreciation Day, I wanted to shout out another department that's very important to these Hyannis Harbor Hawks. That's the Baseball Operations and Analytics Department here. Shout out Josh Schreiber, pumping his fist up there. But I'm standing next to Mikey Lucario, one of our directors of Baseball Operations. Mikey, talk to me a little bit about your intern crew and how well they do for this team.
Yeah, I mean, our interns, I like to say they're the most important interns out there. Obviously, everyone's important. Our guys have been on it since January. I mean, we went through the hiring process in the fall. Getting in, we got a big team, like 12 guys. Some people working remote. Everybody's super bought in. They're here every day, helping build the roster, helping build our scouting reports. You can see a lot of their work on Twitter. Our analytics guys, Quinn Booth puts out a lot of really cool catching reports. Gabe Applebaum and Aiden Bielke do some great work with our pitchers. Austin Wallace in the bullpen and in the dugout has like totally overhauled some of our pitching staff. So it's been really cool to get these guys up here and watch them work and watch them grow throughout the year.
Mikey, we talked to Gabe actually on the broadcast a few games ago. Got a little bit of a look into what analytics does for this team. But for the fans at home who just get to see what happens on the field, talk to me a little bit about your team's work off the field.
Yeah, off the field, it's, we get up and first thing is, all right, who are the new guys that we need to look at for our opposing team for the day? We, let's get these scouting reports in. We watch the video, look at the numbers. Richard Legler has built an awesome scouting Shiny app that all of our guys use to help break down, look at the data and see what are we facing that day. And then there's a lot of modeling that goes on behind the scenes. Whenever we're recruiting players, it's, Gabe Applebaum, and you talked about him about his ex-WOBA models. Those have been really helpful finding guys, college players to help get up here from, whether it be from, looking at their data from school, looking at their data from other summer leagues that they've played in. The analytics guys have been super helpful, and our ops guys have nailed, combing through other leagues, finding guys to bring up, like Donovan Cash, who we just brought up from the NECBL, has been already big. He had a good game yesterday, so yeah.
And then lastly, Mikey, obviously working in pro sports is a very difficult thing to break into. For anyone interested in doing such a thing, especially in baseball, why should they not only work in the Cape Cod Baseball League, but for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to work in baseball, the Cape is absolutely the place to be. It is a huge resume booster. Everybody in the front office of the MLB knows the Cape, and they know how important it is. Not only, it's good for the players, but it's also as equally good for an intern. And I think Hyannis is far and away the most advanced analytically, and in terms of the operations department, our general manager, Nick Johnson, has done a fantastic job of building this department out and bringing in people like our assistant GMs, Zach Chase and Mazdak Darvari, who have really elevated this program into, pushing us to the success that we've had the last 3 years since they've all come on. So I think if you want a job, the Cape is the place to be, and Hyannis is the place to be, absolutely.
Well, Mikey, thank you so much for your work off the field that has helped this Hyannis Harbor Hawks team be so successful so far this season. Hopefully we can see more of that. Back to you guys. Matt Coates here with today's player of the game, Anthony Silva. Anthony, you started the game off kind of the best way possible with a 2-run shot there. What did you see in that at-bat that let that ball go over the wall? Guys, a few innings ago, I talked about another player and their offensive weapon of choice. Right now, I'm sitting next to an actual offensive weapon. That's one of our all-stars in Eric Snow. Eric, it's your second year back. Obviously, you've played very well. How's your experience been this summer?
It's been awesome. I'm playing with a great group of guys, a very talented group, and, playing and picking their brain each day, has just made me a better player and, grown my mental game.
Expand on that a little bit more, your mental game. You're heading into the SEC next season with Auburn, a very tough baseball conference, obviously. How do you look to use the tools you've gained this summer in the SEC?
Yeah, just keep building on your confidence. I feel like I've put in the work, in the cages and, your pregame routines. So I think to, just build off the confidence and, take that into the box, I think it'll be a huge step.
Look, Eric, if this summer's been any indication, I think you can do just fine. Hitting .355 so far this summer with the Hawks. But as you were here last year, you got placed with the same host family. This host family treating you quite well, giving you a Kilwins ice cream cake every time anyone in the house hits a home run. Does the cake taste a little bit better when you hit the homer?
Yeah, I'd say it does.
But how has that been? Is that a new tradition you started this year?
It's not. We actually did it last year, and Zach York was kind of included in that, and so whenever he got one too, we got the cake as well.
Who's brought in more cake successfully? Is York or you?
Unfortunately, I have to go with me, but if he was still here and going with us the rest of the summer, I think he might have a good shot at beating me.
Yeah, that's for sure. Would have been a tough race for sure. We see one of your new teammates coming to the plate here, Eric. Obviously, haven't had a lot of time with him, but with the time you spent with Salvador, what have you noticed from his game that you're excited that he's going to bring to the plate so far?
He's a really mature player. I think he knows a lot about the game, and he's his style of play, and I think if he plays to that kind of standard, he's going to do just fine up here.
Perfect. Eric, thank you so much for joining us. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being so successful for the Hawks for 2 straight seasons. Back up to you guys.
Passes.
Thank you, Jacob. Guys, it's a battle of the Lodices tonight. Obviously on our squad, Alex Lodise out of Florida State once again in the lineup. But on the other side for the Chatham Anglers, his cousin, Kyle Lodise, also starting in the lineup as well. Kyle transferring to Georgia Tech this coming season. Alex, our guy, a player for Florida State. But the two of them having the chance to catch up pregame and talk to each other. And guys, you could see their smiles radiating from a mile away. I caught up with Alex and he said, this is a true bucket list moment. The two of us playing against each other in the Cape Cod Baseball League, you can't even dream that stuff up. Thanks, fellas. A few games ago, I mentioned how George Athanasiadis had left the team after the Fenway Park tryout on July 1st to go play for the Greek national team in the 2024 Prague Baseball Week. Guys, I have a pretty awesome update on that tournament. George and the Greek squad actually won the whole thing. George went 1 for 2 with a walk and an RBI in that championship game. Coach, you talk about some blows. Vahiva Aloy, 3 home runs tonight, been on a tear all summer on the Cape. What makes him such a formidable opponent?
He hits a lot of different pitches.
Matt Coates here, standing field side with manager Mitch Carragher after a tough loss to division rival Cotuit Cavaliers. Coach, back and forth affair. Obviously didn't fall the way we wanted. What did you see out there?
Yeah.
Trotting back onto the mound for the 5th inning is number 27, Daniel Powell, getting ready to face off with the Tennessee Volunteer in Dalton Bargo. And joining me, Mikey Lucario, Director of Baseball Operations, who also joined me last night. Mikey, welcome back, dude.
Thank you, Matt. Great to be back. Haven't been on the broadcast this year yet, so excited to be here.
Exciting for you, Mikey, and exciting to potentially see Dalton Bargo's 2nd home run of the night. I have to say, when I jumped into the booth, we saw 2 back-to-back homers. Maybe you can give us the same luck here.
I would really hope so. I mean, Peebles and Bargo crushed those balls, and it was pointed out to me. Both those hit with Matt Coates in the booth, so.
That's for sure here as Bargo's going to take the first pitch. Squaring to bunt. Going to bunt right back towards the pitching mound. He's going to get past the pitcher. And Dalton Bargo, successful bunt single here. Mikey, that was not on my bingo card.
No, he's not the kind of guy that I would expect to drop that one down. But, I mean, that's Harbor Hawks baseball right there. You're getting on base however you can, whether you're a big power guy or whatever.
Harbor Hawk baseball indeed. Shout out General Manager Nick Johnson. Play style we know he's loving right now. And in my
He's all
earpiece,
smiles.
I'm getting word that Dalton Bargo called that. Last inning in the on-deck circle, he said, hey, I'm gonna lay one down, and I'm going to get on. And he, in fact, laid one down and got on. As it looks like Mr. Carmichael is having some earpiece issues. So, Mikey, is that a Boomer Schooner hat I see on their catcher?
Yeah, that's my guy.
Talk to me about your guy.
I mean, this unfortunately is nothing new for him. We have pitch comm difficulties at our place all the time, but yeah, I mean, Easton's he was started our everyday catcher, and then ended up a catcher DH role, but he's got a great bat. Performed well up here. He was a all-star starter at DH for the Eastern Division, and it's been really cool to see him up here. And guys, we've got Sooners all over the Cape, and it's been, getting to see those guys at school and then come up here, and even, Grant Stevens on our team, see them relive that success is really awesome.
First pitch comes into JP Acosta. That's going to be taken for a strike. Dalton Bargo on first, no out as the Harbor Hawks are up 3-1 here in this affair. And for those of you at home who don't know, Mikey Lucario works with the Oklahoma baseball team. That's why he knows Easton Carmichael and Grant Stevens and others so well. As JP Acosta swings at that pitch low in zone, going to foul straight back. So he falls back 0-2 in the count. But Mikey,
the Fresno City product. Big game last night. Big double off the wall at McKeon Park. Not necessarily the friendliest of parks for a hitter in center field, but he's making his mark known right away.
Yeah, it's been super cool. We first heard that Mitch was bringing his guy up, and I was sitting in the bleachers at Brewster with a couple of our interns, and we had pulled up his synergy, only like 6 batted balls of data, but we watched about 4 base hits, and I was kind of bought in just from right there. It was really fun swing. He's a really athletic kid, really good in the box. He's got a lot of power. I think once he's at a JUCO, he'll be a difference maker for probably a Power 5 program at some point.
As Acosta fouled that one behind the left base bag, but was not caught. Going to stay alive here. Is Dalton Bargo going to take it to second base as the ball gets by the YD Red Sox catcher and Easton Carmichael. No out, 1 in scoring position. Gotta like your odds in this half inning if you're the Harbor Hawks, Mikey.
Yeah, I mean, leadoff guy on is always super huge to have, especially in this league. I mean, it's a close game here. Every run you can get is super valuable, and getting that leadoff guy on and taking any free pass you can get, a really good read there from Dalton to recognize the dirt ball and go.
Powell here squares away, throws another pitch. That one's going to be well outside. Easy take for Acosta to even the count, 2-2. Mikey, talking with Dalton Bargo at second, it's great to see here, game 40 between two teams who have clinched the 1 seed in their respective divisions. You got to put up a lineup. Dalton Bargo, a national champion, been a great player for the Harbor Hawks in the lineup tonight. Still working hard, bunting for singles, getting to second base. Great to see as Acosta fouls one straight back towards the cars there behind home plate. I didn't hear anything. Hopefully they're all right. You got to cross your fingers every time you see a foul ball here, Mikey.
Yeah. Pulled in and had to move back to the third row to avoid the balls.
Yeah, shout out to our broadcast crew. Last time we came to Red Wilson Field, I parked far too close. Nico Irons and Jacob Sharp said, hey, guys. Oh, I'm going to wear my earpiece. This was talked about on the broadcast already. Well, shout out my friends once again. Potentially saved my car as JP Acosta continues to stay alive, fighting another pitch off behind the third base bag towards the YD Red Sox dugout. Hopefully that wasn't targeted. No need to get feisty in this affair. Powell working here, fighting in this count. About to throw the 8th pitch of the bat to the JUCO product, and it's going to be a check swing down to the third baseman. Bargo running to third is not going to make it. Crafty play there by Sprock out there, number 29 for the YD Red Sox. Gets Bargo out there. 1 down, runner on first base. Still get a guy on base, Mikey, but not as favorable position as we had with Bargo.
Yeah, that was good heads-up play there from Sprock, seeing the runner coming to third. Recognized he couldn't get the out at first. Acosta's got good enough speed to beat that out. Kind of a funky check swing, ball in play there, but good defense there. Hawks still rolling, still got runners on, still a chance to score.
Coming into the plate, number 7, the left-hander Eddie Saldivar. Bargo maybe overly aggressive base running there, but in a game you're already ahead. It's Harbor Hawk baseball. Sometimes you're going to try to get that extra bag there. You got to respect the effort, especially with no outs, Mikey. Still a chance to knock on the door and bring some more runs across.
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness. I know it's it's a game that quote-unquote doesn't matter. We've both got the 1 seeds locked up, but still good to, come out, play your style of ball, be aggressive, and, want to have fun and want to score.
Saldivar is going to foul the ball back behind home plate there. 0-2 in the count here with 1 down.
Saldivar is really impressive. He was a really big prep guy at high school, went to Fresno. Really cool to come watch him perform up here. Him and JP both, both Fresno guys, both character guys.
As that ball is going to be a pitch out there, Carmichael trying to see if he could backpick our runner at first base there. Luckily, heads up running from JP Acosta, gets back standing. No throw even from Carmichael.
Yeah, Eddie Saldivar at Fresno State, where brother of our head coach, Mitch Carricker, is an assistant coach. So cool to see 2 Fresno guys that both play for the Carrickers up on the Harbor Hawks.
That pitch is going to be high and outside. Saldivar looked like he wanted to swing there, but did a good job of checking, keeping himself alive with 2 strikes already in the count. Count now even, 2-2, 1 down. Powell going to throw over to first base there. Acosta sliding in head first, going to make it safely. Acosta, Mikey, been working in this game so far. Doing good. Like we mentioned, it's game 40 for two teams who clinched, but you need to get 27 outs in this affair. And they got their guy out there working hard. Caleb Williams did good in his appearance, and then Mr. Powell doing well in his time as well. 2-2 count here. Powell's going to get ready to deliver one. That one's going to bounce in front of home plate as JP Acosta takes off and is going to make it to second base without a throw. Full count here to Saldivar. Now with the runner in scoring position, Mikey.
Yeah, I mean, more heads-up base running by the Hawks. This is how we play ball, and it's good to see even these new guys here getting acclimated and, you know, learning the play style quick, being aggressive on the base paths. You know, Powell's pretty quick to the plate, and he's got some speed on the fastball, so impressive to run like that.
As Saldivar is going to swing through a pitch elevated in the zone there, going to go down on strikes. 2 down now for the new Harbor Hawk, Dawson Bryce, right-handed batter, stepping into the plate. Mikey, first game for Dawson. Talking about his game.
Yeah, Dawson is from Merrimack. He's actually transferring to UNC Charlotte in, I believe, the American Conference.
Oh, it's going to be throw to second. It's going to get by. No one covering second base there. JP Acosta sliding into third base. 2 down, Mikey, but a man 90 feet away from making this a 4-1 ball game.
That's what we like to see. Yeah. But going back to Dawson Bryce, he had a really good summer in the Futures League this year. I mean, also at school, he had 1,000 OPS at Merrimack, 950 OPS in the Futures League. So
that pitch is going to be swung on high in the zone. Going to be an 0-1 count here.
Guy with 13 RBIs in 13 games. So, you know, hopefully he can continue that success and drive one in right here.
Certainly would love to see that. Would be a great way for him to start his Harbor Hawk career. The big RBIs. That pitch is going to be inside. Get past Carmichael and JP Acosta. Trot through. Good thing he made it to third, Mikey, because then on the next time, he made it to home plate. 4-1 Harbor Hawks in this matchup. Pitch inside there as we saw Dawson jump back out of the way a little bit. Just too far inside. Carmichael was not able to get that left hand across and snag that ball. Got behind him, trickled back towards the backstop. JP Acosta able to make it through. Dawson is going to swing, pop that one up. Easton Carmichael settles under it and makes a big out. 3 down, but not before the Harbor Hawks cross home plate. 4-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th.